Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, or check out our featured programs at IndianCountryTV.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A member of the Upper Peninsula tribe has received 10 months in prison for stealing trees from the Keweenaw Bay Indian community. U.S. District Judge Robert Holmes Bell in Marquette sentenced 60-year-old Keweenaw Bay member Robert C. Genshaw of L'Alliance last week after convicting him in a bench trial in March. Bell also gave him 2 years of supervised release, ordered him to perform 250 hours of community service and pay $47,200 in restitution. Genshaw says he's a chief of the Ontonagon Band of Lake Superior Chippewa with rights to the lumber. Prosecutors say the group disbanded in 1936 and the Keweenaw Bay tribe now owns the trees. Federal officers were removing American Indian artifacts from the family home of two Utah women who pled guilty to illegally removing items from public or tribal land last week. Dan Barnes, a special agent with the U.S. Bureau of Land Management, told the Salt Lake Tribune that several vehicles, including two rental trucks, arrived to seize the relics from the home in Blanding, Utah. Last Monday, Jeannie Red, 59, and her daughter Jerica, 37, pled guilty to several felony counts charges stemming from the sweeping federal investigation into the theft and illegal trafficking of artifacts. Barnes says all the Indian relics in the home, either from public or private lands, were taken away. The retrieval of the artifacts was part of a plea agreement approved by a federal judge last week in Salt Lake City, Utah. Rapid City Police, its police department, and current and former police chiefs are all denying allegations of civil rights violations and racial discrimination. It comes in a formal response to a federal lawsuit filed earlier this year by former Rapid City Police Detective Glenn Yellowrobe. The enrolled member of the Rosebud Sioux tribe, who was on the Rapid City Police Force for more than 20 years, says he and others were subjected to racial comments and that his complaints were ignored. The defendants say in their response that Yellowrobe never informed anyone in authority of a racially hostile work environment or of discrimination on the basis of race. They also deny making racist comments or having knowledge of racist comments made around Yellowrobe. The defendants are asking that the complaint be dismissed. A federal judge has for the second time rejected an attempt by two members of the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe to bring a land lawsuit against the town of Mashpee in the state of Massachusetts. Amelia Bingham and her son Stephen filed suit in October in an effort to reclaim land originally deeded to the descendants of the South Sea Indians, by which the Wampanoag were known in colonial times. U.S. District Judge George O'Toole dismissed the suit in May, but the Binghams asked him to reconsider based on new genealogical evidence. O'Toole writes in his reply filed July 2nd that the family tree could and should have been available when the original suit was filed. The Bingham's attorney told the Cape Cod's Time that the mother and son are now considering their options. The 29 Oklahoma-based Indian tribes that offer gaming contributed almost $106 million to state coffers during the just completed fiscal year, according to a report from the Office of State Finance. That is a 23% increase over the previous year, when the state received almost $81 million from the tribes. It's still growing, State Treasurer Scott Meekum said. We don't know where it's going to top out at. Under compacts between the state and tribes, the state receives a percentage of revenue from card games and Las Vegas-style gaming machines. While most of the money goes to education, the first $250,000 goes to the State Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Among the state's tribes, the Chickasaw Nation paid most of the $28.7 million. The Choctaw Nation contributed $21.5 million as well. The Yakama Nation released sockeye salmon into a lake on the east slope of the Cascades last week, marking yet another effort by Pacific Northwest tribes to restore fish in areas where they have long been extinct. A ceremony that included native song, dance, and prayer for the future of the fish ended with the release of 100 sockeye salmon into the Cle Elum Lake in central Washington. Biologists plan to release 1,000 fish in the coming weeks in hopes of restoring sockeye to the headwaters of the Yakima River Basin. Phil Rigdon, Deputy Director of the Yakima Nation's Natural Resources Department, called the event an important milestone in what we're trying to achieve as a tribe. The Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe in Minnesota are investing in a new type of wind turbine designed for use by homes and businesses. On July 9th, tribal officials dedicated a new manufacturing plant where workers will make a part for the Windspire. That's a vertical axis wind turbine made by Reno, Nevada-based Mariah Power. The parts will be assembled at Mestec Manufacturing LLC in Manistee, Michigan. Through its investment in Mariah Power, the Mille Lacs Band will be the exclusive distributor for any Indian reservations buying a Windspire turbine, which costs about $6,500. A Windspire is 30 feet tall and spins on a vertical axis, unlike the larger turbines seen on wind farms. The reservation plans to use a Windspire turbine to power the District 2 Community Center in McGregor, Minnesota. The First Nations Center at UW Superior presents the 12th annual 2009 Johnson Open, sponsored by McCladrey and Pullen. It's a two-person shootout coming up on Friday, July 31st at the Maggie Golf Course at Superior, Wisconsin. Shotguns start at 10 a.m. Prize money and 3 flights guaranteed. Excellent men and women's proximity prizes, door prizes, including Packers, Vikings, Twins, Bucks, and Brewer items, golf and casino packages, hotel packages, and a whole lot more. The entry fee is $30. Green fees and a card are extra. For more information, you should contact Gary Johnson at the First Nations Center at 715-394-8358. All proceeds are going to benefit the Native American Scholarship Fund at UW Superior, Wisconsin. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this broadcast, and for you for having a great day. Stop in again for the next edition right here